Reducing Curacao's 2019 Budget Part 3. Further commentary to reducing deficit and helping Curacao's health. By JJosepha News. Twitter.com web link. Willemstad, Curaçao. The proposal by Prime Minister of Curaçao, Eugene Raghunath, with a 50% increase in sales taxes, will increase inflation and drive Curaçao into a special state of first-stage idiopathic manic depression, and further proving to Netherlands and the Kingdom that as an autonomous country we are unable and incapable to take care of our own and put the people first. This is the third part of a 5-part series that I have welcomed to open, discuss and debate for the good and well-being of a better Curaçao. Join me, I am JJosepha. I tax implementation to promote better health. I believe that in implementing a 1. 60% tax hike on only the raw product, sugars, refined and confectionery. 2. 145% tariff on imported sugar and sugar substitutes. I thought about this as an effective avenue to tackle the high incidence and prevalence of diabetes in Curaçao. Please see my discussion on health to understand the reasons behind this. 2. Tax and tariff on sugar alternative, honey. Now the balancing effect to this is the preference of honey, and I believe that by implementing a 1. 50% reduction on taxes on honey. 2. 70% tariff on imported honey and honey alternatives. This represents a further revenue potential from increased sales volumes which I won't share here. 3. Economic usage of funds to reduce the long-term problem. In considering the economic value of this single tax profile, JJ 2020 represents a revenue with a negative feedback mechanism method in Curaçao that has a minimum equal to about $62.1 million USD/year. I believe that of this 35% of the funds can be redirected into reducing the cost of medicine overall. Reactive. B. I believe that 5% of the funds can go into educational marketing program to educate the public through commercials and a TV series around the central theme of diabetes. Preventative. C. I believe that 35% of the funds can go into educational upgrading, scholarships, grants and loans available for interventive. C11, medical, dental and pharmacy students. C12, specialist in endocrinology, diabetology, internal medicine, nephrology and botology. C13, public healthcare management, hospital administration with specialty in management of metabolic disorders. C14, nursing. D. I believe that 6% of the funds can go to scientific research. E. I believe that 3% of the funds can go to equity investment in medical and pharmaceutical stocks and bonds. F. I believe that 11% of the funds can go to investment in long-term investment via proprietary medical, dental, nursing, public healthcare management and pharmacy school. G. I believe that the remaining 5% of the funds can go to short-term investments. The specialty areas are for forming an effective diabetes fighting team for managing diabetic patients' health more progressively. I didn't include a psychiatrist, blood vasculature specialist, neurologist and a dietitian. I believe this perspective would get a greater value and research power to understanding the A-team effort in effectively dealing with diabetic patients more efficiently, thereby enhancing a better standard of living for the patient. I openly invite any medical professional and parliamentarian to combat the idea that kidney dialysis is not a cure to kidney diseases. It helps, but being placed on a kidney transplant list as soon as possible is the best choice, and Curaçao needs to encourage more organ donors. Please see health discussion. The revenue generation potential capacity and sourcing, REGI box, the revenue funds by taxing the major contributing factor to diabetes, active, and the distribution of the funds to reinvest and further fight diabetes, progressive, helps us achieve and surpass health standards by the World Health Organization, WHO, Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, and Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARFA. Zero tolerance on diabetic treatment reform policy. I had expressed my political approach during the 2017 campaign to wage the battle against diabetes and obesity, which are preventable and/or manageable. This takes political fortitude, thinking outside the box, and a genuine concern for the people, and I warm-heartedly and openly welcome a roundtable debate and discussion to any member of Parliament, including the Minister of Economy and Finance and the Prime Minister, himself, Eugene Raghunath, to discuss and debate this topic. I am sure that the other political parties in Parliament should try as much as possible to create transparency and hold interactive discussions and debate on the government budgetary proposals, so that they can get more and better feedback along with better solutions and possible resolutions. That's essential to participation as a component to good governance. To all of you, I am open to discuss this topic. The plot. To understand that I as a candidate always had a comprehensive manifesto and platform to take over from day one had I won the election in the way I proposed, and from 2016 high executives in KSE, and anyone that says differently is not someone anyone should just. I recall the sad truth beyond the letter to the king, and complaints about election fraud, but I recall some of my fellow colleagues who was looking to lead this beautiful and potentially vibrant fruitful country into an abyss of abyss. Behind the plot. Yes. I recall having a conversation with another female leader of a political party, and I thought to myself, if the people only knew that this person doesn't seem to know much more than incoherent political verbiage that she thinks the people want to hear. I frankly realized that she had violated the true difference between wanting to make a change for the good and having the mental capacity or political fortitude to do good for the people ethically and morally. It seemed to me that this was for her and her political party a limelight moment, a beauty show pageant, maybe a marketing hoax to build up her social media followings. Had there been a political debate at that moment, I believe the leader for PIN might have tried to do a Helmian wheels on me, because she would have known, like the rest of the country, at that moment Curaçao was about to have a new voice, a young face and true representation of the people and for the people in the government, the executive branch, and in SVC, Parliament, the legislative branch. That is a fact, but allegedly certain individuals and entities intentionally made sure that the debate never happened, so it never happened, and now that is in the past. I was even more surprised when I got into a discussion with another female political leader of her political party on the basics of philosophy, politics and rhetoric, and this person had very little or no clue, blaming Agent that it was such a long time ago, so she forgot and did not remember what I was talking about. However, this was basic political science class 101, that everyone takes, yet she had no clue. She was clueless on Plato and Socrates, on the Republic. Maybe it was a long time ago for her. After all, I was more than about half the age of every political captain and candidate in Curaçao's 2017 national general election. A member who apparently hanged around this leader's campaign alluded to the idea, and I say allegedly, that indirectly a TV direct person was behind coaxing the idea for the female political leader to enter the race to strategically diminish the vote counting in my favor, by increasing the options, hence blocking LKKK and Josepha. What did I do to these people? Was it because I talked about a balanced budget, a progressive path to Curaçao having good governance and equality to one as to all, and how far would they have gone? And how far did they go in the 2017 national electoral process? Pay close attention. Had what happened to me during the 2017 national electoral race happened in Venezuela or in the USA, the public would be surprised of such a possible collusion. 3. Other sugary items tax or tariff approach. Now back on track. Hopefully the Curaçao Parliament has VC8 and the Prime Minister of Curaçao can correct the listing if it is incorrect, that has Curaçao listed in the top 3 countries in the world on trade exports and within the top 5 in imports, given a trade differential of more than $500 billion for Curaçao. I have not included the full course of the JJosepha on A. Carbonated sweetened beverages, and non-carbonated sweetened beverages. B. Instant dry powdered drink mix. C. Non-natural syrups and D. Energy drinks. This represents about $8 million USD minimum mark from JJ 2020 tax and tariff. This all brings about $73 million USD that covers the budget insufficiency of NAF. 127 M. Guilders. We the people demand open transparency, rule of law, accountability and free participation for good governance to exist, persist, survive and work for the benefit of the electorate, nation and country.